Welcome to my 220th video on my work with OO gauge. I haven't been doing so much on the railways recently as I've been spending more time on more outdoor directed activities. However, I did get up to the train show in Bingemans Centre in Kitchener, Ontario this past Sunday, March the 19th, 2023, and I came back with quite a few items which I'll be showing in this video. The weather was actually quite nasty on Sunday morning, with an overnight snowfall leaving the roads slick with a thin layer of snow and ice, and if it had been just a case of casual browsing I wouldn't have made the drive given the potentially dangerous road conditions. But I'd arranged to meet Nigel of British Model Trains at the show to pick up a number of items that he was holding for me, so I decided to brave the weather, and I drove up to Kitchener slowly and carefully, sticking to the most travelled roads. Despite the weather, the show was well attended. It appeared that all of the vendors were present, and there was a good crowd of attendees, with Bingemans' large parking lot quite well occupied, although perhaps a little less so than I've seen on some occasions. As it turned out, I brought back quite a load of things beyond what I'd arranged to pick up from Nigel, as there were quite a few things on offer that appealed to my particular interests. Here's an overview of everything that I brought back from the show. I guess it doesn't look all that much like this, but I came back with 2 quite heavy bags plus that flat box. There was a vendor specialising in Hornby Doublo who I'd never seen before, and I bought several things from him. He also had quite a lot of other Doublo items that either duplicated things I already had or wouldn't fit onto my Doublo tabletop. He had the turntable, both metal and plastic stations and platforms, the blue book, etc. One thing that I was happy to buy from him was this set of LMS rolling stock. These are, of course, custom items, presumably built basically from kits, although I think on original Doublo chassis. And they're all specifically LMS items, so very much in my particular area of interest, since my family worked for the LMS and that's principally what I model. Generally, they seem to have been well made, although some of the decals are on a bit crooked. The LMS letters on the parcel van at bottom right here are particularly wonky. At left are 2 longer 4-wheeled coaches, one composite and one third. This is the longest coach, apparently a non-corridor composite brake coach. There were 2 short 4-wheeled third-class coaches and 1 short 4-wheeled brake on a slightly different design. The decal under the LMS letters on that is hard to read, but it says luggage van. These rolling stock items came from British Model Trains. The 2 tank wagons in very good condition were items that Nigel picked up more recently that I bought at the show. The others were things that I'd previously picked out on his website. Those don't have the required couplings, so they'll require work before they can be used. I also got some boxed 003 rail track items from Nigel, which he'd picked up recently. I bought a box of 6 quarter straights and a box of 4 1/8 straights, and I was particularly happy to get the isolating rail with switch, as I need that to add an isolator to the track on my Doublo turntable that is opposite to the entry track, so that I can use that opposite track for parking. Adding that isolator will probably be my next railway video, so I'll go into that in more detail then. The 3 3-rail buffer stops actually came from the new Doublo vendor. The contents of this box were being sold as a train set for $80. This was offered by the British Model Cars vendor who sells the Oxford die-cast road vehicles range. The points are non-isolating, and I don't expect I'll use them. Indeed, I didn't really need any of this track, but I thought that the set was worth buying just for the rolling stock. The locomotive is another N2 in LMS livery, not an engine that the LMS actually ran, but still a nice little model. I'm not sure if this one will actually run, but even if it's a bit iffy, it seems to be basically complete, so I should be able to get it running okay with some servicing. Famous last words, we'll see in a future video. These were a few odd items that I'd selected from the British Model Trains website. Some plastic coal loads, haven't tried yet to see what they'll actually fit, a piece of thin brass chain, a single metal home signal, and a DCC Concepts back-to-back gauge. This is the latest card kit released by Metcalfe, so far as I know. I had added it to my cart on the British Model Trains website when Nigel first got it in last year, but before I paid for my cart, all of the available kits had been snapped up by other buyers. So I got it when Nigel restocked recently. I'll do a build video of this one sometime in the future. I'm not sure where I can actually put the building on my layouts. Perhaps I can squeeze it in somewhere on the extension around the 00 turntable. I got this 00 metal footbridge from the new 00 vendor, new to me that is. He only asked $5, which was a lot more reasonable than the $30 being asked for another one that's been showing up at shows for a while. I made an offer on that one and was turned down, and I really thought $30 was a bit much. Apart from the 00 3-rail N2 in the set, I came back with two 2-rail locomotive models. The bottom one is an early Hornby streamlined Coronation class, which someone had renamed and repainted a bit. I bought that one from Faisal of Faz Model Trains as a working model. The other one is a rather unusual kit-built model of a Lancashire and Yorkshire Aspinall Atlantic. Definitely a model of an interesting loco, and apparently quite well made, although I doubt that it will be possible to run it around a set-track layout without modification, as its bogie probably won't be able to get round the curves. I was originally thinking of trying to put the new footbridge near the turntable in the area seen here, but the footbridge takes up quite a bit of room and it really wouldn't fit here in a sensible way. So I ended up, at least for now, putting it over the track in the far corner of the tabletop as seen here. I was a bit concerned as to whether the footbridge would be high enough to clear rolling stock when placed on the ground. My other footbridge runs from one platform of my station to the other, and so is much higher as it stands on the platforms. I'm still not quite sure about this one, but my converted streamlined Coronation got under it okay, as seen here. I wonder if it would be worth trying to touch up the paint on the footbridge a bit, as it is rather chipped here and there. Anyway, there we are. Some of these items will doubtless feature in future videos as I get around to working with them.